Hey guys, Mr. Gibson here. I'll show you guys how you can write linear equations or inequalities given a scenario. That's ultimately what we want to do. But first we want to take some sentences and make them into mathematical expressions. That's going to help us do this, okay? So the first thing is this problem here. I have 10 more than a number. How can I express that in mathematics? So a number, what that means to me, you guys, is a variable. We don't know what that number is, it's just a number, okay? So that's why I put an X there, or you can put any variable, but I'm just gonna use X throughout this video. More than 10. So that means I need to add on 10. If it's more than 10, then that number, so whatever we're gonna find is gonna be 10 more than a number, okay? I could put maybe a y equals right here to make that an equation, but I'm just going to stick with some expressions right here. Next, 8 less than a number. So again, a variable, a number, okay? Less than, well, that means a minus sign. So 8 less than a number, x minus 8. A number minus 8. Okay. Here's some more expressions, a little more complicated. Next, we have 6 times a number. Times means we're going to multiply. So you put a little dot right here to indicate times or multiplication. A number, well, a number is just going to be a variable x. Okay, 6 times x, or I could say 6x. Okay. Next, a number divided by 5. Again, a number, we're going to represent that number as an x divided by, well, I could make a division symbol, -5. But this is the same thing as saying x better x there, over -5, okay? So divided is also, can be represented by a fraction bar, okay? Sometimes you won't say divided by. We have another word for divided by too, that's called half. So half a number, I'll just go x divided by, or fraction bar, 2, because half is 2, x over 2. Okay, that's a little more complicated. Now these are a little more complicated. The next says the sum of a number and 4. So what that means is, how about I put a parentheses to say we're going to take the sum of some expression, okay? A number is x, and 4 is plus 4. Now, you might say, Mr. Gibson, why do you have these parentheses? And you don't need them in this case, but you'll see in later on examples where this parentheses might be helpful, okay? Same thing here, similar thing. The difference of a number and 2, difference, okay, so I'm going to put a parentheses, okay? Difference means minus, all right? A number, x, and 2, okay? So sum and difference, sum is addition, difference is subtraction. Again, I don't need the parentheses there, but you'll see where that might be helpful in further examples. So finally, we've looked at expressions. Now let's look at equations and inequalities, okay? So this first problem up here is an equation. It says write an equation, okay? 16 is twice the sum of a number and 6, okay? 16, so let me just write 16 right here. Now notice I've used kind of this lime green color is the same color as is. That's because I wanted to show that is is your equal sign. If you see is, that means equal. So 16 is, or equal to, twice, well that means times 2, the sum of a number and 6. So that's why I put the parentheses right here. It's the sum of a number, which I'll represent by an X, and 6 in that parentheses, but it's twice that number. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 2 right there. Okay, so 16 is twice, so is the equal twice times 2, the sum of a number and 6. So you take the sum and times it by 2, it should be equal to 16. That's our equation. Equation means we have an equal sign. Next, an inequality. Okay, similar thing here, except for instead of an equal sign, we're going to have some sort of greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or less than sign. So anyway, let's get to this equation here, or this problem here. 10 times a number is greater than or equal to twice the difference of a number and 8. Okay, so in brown here I had greater than or equal to, and again that's why I have this greater than or equal to sign right there in brown. Okay, 10 times a number. Okay, so I'm just going to write 10 and a number x, okay, is greater than or equal to, there you go, twice the difference of a number and 8. So a number again, a difference, so that's subtraction, so a number and 8. But it's twice the difference of a number and 8, so I've got to make sure I put my 2 right there. So let's read it again. 10 times a number is greater than or equal to twice the difference of a number and 8. Okay? Again, that's our inequality. Longer video right now, but I've got to finally hit our the whole crux of our objective here, which is to have a scenario and write our equation. So it says to join a club, you must pay $100. After that, you must pay a $50 fee per month. If your grandmother gives you $500 to be in the club, how many months will that pay for? Okay, and these problems that we'll give you on your assessment, we're just going to want you to write an equation. So I'm just going to show you guys how to write the equation. Okay, so first of all, let's figure out the fee for this club. Okay, you have an initial fee right here, $100. So let me just write that down, 100. Okay, so whatever you pay, you still have to add on this $100 fee. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a plus 100. Okay, now per month it's $50. Okay, so it's 50 times however many months we're going to be in the club. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, let me write a variable, and I'm just going to call the variable x because that's what we've been doing. I'm going to say x equals number of months. Okay, strange x there, but so 50 times the number of months is how much you'll pay in total, okay, for the number of months. So I'm going to go ahead and write 50x, okay. Okay, so for example, if you're in the club for 2 months, there'll be 50 times 2, which is 100, plus 100. So in all, to be in the club for 2 months, you'll have to pay $200, okay? But the question's asking you, and what the equation will have to equal is, your grandmother gives you $500. So let's set this equal to 500, because that's the total amount you're going to spend on this club. And what we want to find out is X, the number of months it'll give you in that club. But we're not going to solve right now. We're just going to leave it like that because we have a nice equation to use from here on out. Thanks for your attention.